Hello, my loves. This is Heidi with your December soul message. Holy cow, I just finished writing the blog. It is big, bad and bougie. Lot of energy going on. So, where to begin? The energy, I've been talking about this energy for almost a year, this idea of cooking, and that we're cooking in a pot, simmering down, getting rid of all the old, all the things that are not us, the excess, so that we can get down to the root and the jewels of who we are. Last month in November, I talked about it's almost as if the whole pot has simmered down. We've gotten to kind of the nitty gritty of who we are, and that pot, it's almost like the whole thing is dissolved, and what remains underneath is this crystallized hardened caramel. And when I looked at the energy for December, it's as if now we're standing on a disc and the sides of the disc are curled up, almost like a frisbee that's been turned upside down. And this month, we're ready to take off. It's like that disc that we're standing on is going to become a hovercraft. It's a flying saucer. It's a magic carpet of sorts. And then in addition to that, so we have this new energy that's been coming in, this wild nature, this animalistic feminine that is so strong and so hardy. And it's as if Mother Earth is trying to birth through us. It isn't even like we are just birthing anew and we are becoming different, but it's as if Mother Earth is birthing through us. And, just even what to title this month's soul message was a struggle, because I was like, there's this ready for flight, this kind of taking off. And I ended up landing on Call of the Wild, because that's what it is. Like, even in our taking off, there is an inherent nature of earth and groundedness, getting to the root of our being, who we are, who we were meant to be. All of the programming, it's like the container that we've been living in. It's this condensed energy, right? Like even Corona, even the quarantine has created this energy of a container. And it's like we are ready to crack and burst forward. It's like that created this metamorphosis process, and we're the butterfly cracking out of this cocoon. And now we're ready to become this new thing. And it's like our wings are a little bit sticky and awkward. So at the beginning of the month especially, there's this awkwardness of just trying to figure out, like, who are we, discovering our bodies, how is this thing moving and functioning now that I've become this totally new person. So it's like that's happening. And then there's this tandem, this animal energy that is birthing anew, and we have to ground the new energy. I said in the blog, it's almost like we've gotten a software update, and we're now like working through the glitches of that update. Like, all right, how does this thing work? How does that thing work? And all of that. So let's see. I want to talk about programming for a minute, because this is the piece that really came through in the blog that's interesting. So, and if you don't know that there's a blog, there is one for all of the soul messages, not for the weekly messages, but for the monthly messages. It lives on my website, doublemagenta.com, and then just click at soul messages at the top and they're all there. So this programming piece, it's like the part of us that we remember from childhood. We had a dream, we had a thing we wanted to do, be, express, discover, learn. The programming of society tells us to drop those parts of ourselves that don't fit in to the categorization and the polarization that lives here on the earth. And so it's like we're going and rediscovering, those are the jewels that we're starting to pull out now and discover and look at and go, okay, this is interesting. This is a new part of myself that maybe I remember, or maybe it's brand new. And I want to discover it now. I want to interact with it. I want to look at it as a wheel. Like, how does this thing move? What does it look like if I put it here? What does it look like if I put it here? So that could be work, relationship, home, family, the whole thing. Like, all of it is moving through that. So I want to talk about this other piece. So about the programming and the partisanship that we have going on and the categorization, right? So it looks like those are just things that live on the outside of us, but they affect us internally. And what I see in my practice all the time is people's energy is homolateral. And what that means is that it's only functioning on one side of the body and it's not crossing over the way that it should. It causes anxiety, depression, illness, all kinds of stuff when we're doing that. And in society, when we, in a patriarchal society, we've basically divorced ourselves from our feminine. We have divorced ourselves from the right brain, left side of the body. So oftentimes I see funky stuff with that. It doesn't necessarily mean that you're only in one side of your body. It depends on your upbringing, your individual programming from your family, the wounds and the traumas that are stuck. When we have this stuck, stagnant energy anywhere in our body, it can't flow. And so it's jamming things up. And that's the core of what I do, is go in and see where those places are so that we can clear them and move them out. But it causes this divorce in our system. And it's so interesting because as I was writing the blog, I saw this total parallel of the external world being polarized, being categorized. We shame, we judge, we blame, we put things in boxes. And we do that with ourselves internally too. So then it ends up that half of us or more is not even online. So we're operating from only half of ourselves, whether that's only the left brain, the way that like formal education teaches us to just be in your left brain, unless you're lucky enough to go to art school or do, some other path. But that's the general gist. And so you're encouraged to really drop these parts of yourself. And that is the sense of this call of the wild, this wild animal that is coming up in us, that is saying, no, enough is enough. I'm putting my stake in the ground. I'm claiming both sides of who I am. I'm claiming any and all of it, anything that was let go. And I will not let the programming of society shift me, change me, move me. No, fuck it. It's not happening anymore. This is what I am going to do. And so in that way, it's just, even in the energy that I was just speaking with, is masculine, the stake in the ground, and it's the feminine, the creative, the fluid. How are we going to do this? It's malleable, it's changeable. We need both sides in our body. We need both sides in the world. And here's the thing. This is part of this call of the wild right now. There's no fucking around anymore. Like, we don't have time to mess around with this. All of you have beautiful gifts that are individual, that are unique to you. The world is changing and shifting. We need all of you in your gifts, living them out, giving them to the world, because we don't benefit. We lose out when you aren't giving your gifts. So this month, this energy, this tiger, this fire that's coming through, it's saying, it's like Mother Earth coming up through us and saying, enough is enough. Stop hiding. Stop, keeping your gifts to yourself. Stop keeping them even from yourself. Let yourself create, paint, dance, whatever it is, dream, whatever it is that you are here to do. And I guarantee you, this comes up in, I do something called spirit readings, which are channeled messages as well for people. And they're about 5 to 7 pages. And then I message you a recording of it so that you have it. In those messages, over and over and over again, the theme that comes through every time is the thing that you are here to do is the thing that comes absolutely easy to you. It's the thing that is most natural, that you do without even knowing you're doing it. And they say in like complete jest and laughter every time, it's like, why would we send you here to earth and then make it difficult for you to find your gifts? That would completely defeat the purpose of you being here to give them. But the thing is that in society, we're taught that what we're supposed to do or who we are is supposed to be difficult. We have to go to school. We have to do it this way. We have to have a bunch of letters behind our name in order to, make it valuable or make it worth something or whatever. Forget all of that. What you are here to do is the thing that you are good at, that only innately you can do in your way, in your language, in your style. We are desperate in need of that right now. So this month says, forget it. Forget all of it. Like, forget the programming. Do it your way. Give us your gifts. That is the only way that we're shifting this world and moving it forward, is by you giving your gifts and your unique things, so that we can break down all of these structures of categorization and polarization that are keeping us stuck, quite frankly. And we're already moving into the direction of unity consciousness, but this is going to help the process of that. The more that you can move both sides of your body and come into unity within yourself, shine your light and give your gifts, you are giving permission for everyone else around you to do the same. So that we can it's like a snowball effect, and it just keeps going and keeps going. So this is all written in the blog if you ever forget what the suggestions are. But for the monthly soul messages, I usually give at least 3 suggestions for what you can focus on for the month. So the first one is feel your feelings. Cry it out, fuck it out, shame it out, scream it out, whatever the hell you have to do, but get it out of your body. Drop the thing, the doing, like all this corona stuff, all of this is like our nervous systems are completely shot. In the weekly message for the last week of November, I suggested cooling it on the caffeine right now, because we need to give our nervous systems a break. So letting yourself feel your feelings and just stop, like instead of trying to keep going and keep going and keep going and keep up with everything that you were doing before corona, like drop it all, let it all fall apart, fall to the ground, cry, let it out, get that stuck, stagnant energy out of your body. The other thing is to get into your body. Yoga, running, walking, massage, whatever you can do to bring yourself into your body. Because as this new programming of the feminine, of the wild that's coming up in you, it's like it needs to be grounded in your system by physical touch, by walking, by being in that, movement heals. It's like that whole kind of thing. You want to ground it into your body. And if ever there was a time to use your tools, it is right now. And by tools, I'm talking about meditation, chanting, essential oils, sage, sound healing, energy healing, channel writing, whatever it is that can bring you into your senses could not be more important right now. It's like we need, we've been operating in the upper chakras for such a long time. Like we're going on this spiritual journey, trying to find ourselves. And it's like, everything that's going on the earth is so friggin' hard anyways. It's like we want to escape and go up and out of our head. But right now we have to bring that energy up from the earth, and we have to yoke it together. I keep saying this. With the spirit to ground us. We're spiritual beings having a human experience, so we have to use and balance both sides of our body. I've been looking into partnering with doTERRA as a way to offer that for my clients, because so much of the work that I do helps with spiritual, mental, emotional healing. But then there's this physical aspect, and I really want to offer something that helps bring us down into our bodies and ground into the physical as tools that can be used, between appointments or whatever you have going on to help support the journey. So I did not pull a card before, so I'm going to do it now. So the last 2 months we have gotten the Destroyer card. So praise Jesus that we don't get that again. But it feels like we have more creator energy coming through that wants to play and make things and all of that. So I'm hoping that we're done with that. But let's see what we have. The Mentor. That's interesting. Okay, I got this card for myself recently. That's beautiful. Look at this eagle with the fire. It's like the marriage of the animal and the fire that's burning inside of us. Okay, let's see. And I can tell. I could have told you from the beginning this was going to be too long for Instagram. I tried doing an Instagram live recently, and it was not my favorite. They make it very hard to save the file so that I can put it on YouTube as well. And also put it in IGTV, so not my favorite. Okay, the mentor, the teacher, the sage, the guru. It is said that cosmic knowledge pours down on the world like a great illuminated waterfall. I mean, that could not be more perfect with the spiritual energy coming down. This can be an overwhelming force. The true teacher, though, is said to be able to hold this flow of wisdom at bay while the student sips from a focused stream. That's the groundedness of getting into the body, calming your nervous system so that it's not too much. We're like on complete overload right now. The mentor archetype has a gift for reading the room, for sensing the exact ingredient that will stimulate growth within the student, whether pleasant or painful. You know, and that's like that painful piece is like where we've been with Corona, and now we're like finally starting to crack out of it from all the pressure. It's like we can't handle the tightness of that container anymore, so we're just going to bust open with it. The mentor may appear aloof or available, harsh or tender, humorous or rigid. Their gift is to know what serves the soul. Ultimately, the mentor is in service of the greater cosmic good and aids in the elevation of consciousness. Anytime the mentor forgets this humble link and mistakes themselves for the source of enlightenment, the archetype falls into shadow. This could not be more perfect, what I'm talking about with the divorce of the left and right, the masculine and feminine. And then we fall into the shadow of thinking that we know, or thinking that we have the answers, or thinking we have other people's answers. We don't have any of that. We need to shut up and come into what's here. You know, I wrote this in the blog. My husband and I often say the answer is usually somewhere in the middle. It's not in the polarized, place. When light, focused, clear, bright, remains a student, right? The teacher must always remain a student, or they get arrogant and they think they have all the answers and they don't need to learn anymore. When dark, self-serving, envious of youth, righteous and rigid. To go deeper, the riddles of Zen masters and their students. Keep in mind how easy it is to project power onto another. The expressions feet of clay and cult of personality exist for a reason. And I had a whole download a couple nights ago about cults, and I'm going to do a separate video about that. Although it's typically true that parents are our initial teachers, the child will eventually seek a mentor figure outside of the home to assist their growth. And, this isn't a Zen riddle, but that reminds me that I added a poem into the blog, and it's Hafiz's poem. Even after all this time, the sun never says to the earth, "You owe me." Look what happens with a love like that. It lights up the whole sky. And that is where we're moving, folks. Like it almost tears me up. It's like we have to get into this unity place. We have to stop saying, well, I've given this much, and so I can't give to you, and you didn't give me enough, and da-da-da-da-da, like this whole, tit for tat thing. It's like we have to just go, okay, maybe I don't understand you, maybe I don't get it, but I'm willing to come in the middle. I'm willing to try to learn. I'm willing to listen and honor you as separate from me, but also part of me, because we are both human beings walking the earth at the same time. And it matters. It matters to care. It matters to listen. It matters to be unified and yoked with our masculine, feminine, and the whole thing. So anyways, you can hear the tiger coming out right now with that energy. So I wish you well. Stay tuned for more about doTERRA, more about... I am going to do another video about cults and this whole download that I got that I had no idea was going on. So, all right. Love you. Blessings. Namaste.